Hey guys, Dave Ceruolo here. I've been a real estate probate and elder law attorney for the last 22 years. In this video, we're going to talk about some important things that happen if you're buying or selling real estate. So stay tuned and see what we have going on. So what is an offer to purchase real estate in Massachusetts? Well, folks, it's the first step in a real estate transaction. First of all real estate transactions in Massachusetts have to be in writing. The buyer submits the written offer to the seller. If the seller likes what they see, they're going to accept the offer. That's a binding contract in Massachusetts, folks. What does an offer contain? An identification of the parties, an identification of the property, a closing date, a financing contingency date, also an inspection contingency date, all on behalf of the buyer. Once the seller signs that offer, it's a binding contract on the seller. It's a trap for the unwary, actually, on the seller's behalf, because the seller is creating a binding contract. And if the parties all of a sudden decide that they don't like each other, they can't just walk away from the contract. It's an enforceable contract. The next step after an offer is a purchase and sale agreement. My name's Dave Ceruolo, www.ceruololaw.com. What is a purchase and sale agreement? Well, folks, a purchase and sale agreement is another step in the sale or purchase of real estate. So what does a purchase and sale agreement include? Well, normally a purchase and sale agreement is going to be a contract between only the buyer and the seller. It's going to have all of the elements of contract, so it'll identify the parties, it'll identify the real estate being purchased or sold, it'll identify the purchase price and the deposits that are going to be put down, so the consideration, it'll identify the date of performance, which is the closing date. It'll also specify when the buyer has to secure their financing, if this is being financed by a bank or if it's a cash deal, it will so indicate. Other things that a purchase and sale will include is if there's any repairs that have to be done by the seller, if one of the parties is moving on early to the property or staying longer than after the closing. And also there's also language that's included into the purchase and sale by counsel of each side to protect the parties. Dave Ceruolo, ceruololaw.com. So in the sale of real estate in Massachusetts, what does it mean, the passing of papers or the closing or the date set for performance? These all mean the same thing, folks, and typically in the past, the parties all came together and exchanged paperwork and the sale was completed on a piece of real estate. So at the time of closing, the buyer is supposed to come to closing prepared to give money, whether it's cash or complete their financing with the bank in order to make the purchase of the real estate. The seller typically comes in prepared to deliver the deed, and with the deed, the seller is usually going to give a smoke detector, carbon monoxide detector certificate to say that the property is in compliance, a final water reading if it's a single family or a multi-family dwelling, or if it's a condo, the seller will come in with a few of those things along with a 6D certificate to say that all of the condo fees have been paid up to date. Dave Ceruolo, ceruololaw.com.